Today I'm going to review the Hubsan X4 Storm H122D. It's Hubsan's newest racing drone. As you can see, the drone is a little larger than palm size, which is pretty good for an entry-level race drone. I've got a couple other smaller entry levels, and overall this one has a good size to it. I prefer a larger racing drone as to the smaller frames. The overall feel of this is it's got quite a bit of weight to it, which is nice. Very firm carbon body, carbon fiber frame. The propellers are fixed via screw. Got a little Velcro holder here for the battery. Battery itself is a Hubsan branded 710 mAh 7.6 volt. I've charged this battery 3 times now. The charge normally takes right around an hour, and the overall flight time is 6 to 8 minutes, which is pretty impressive for a small race drone. Most races are over well before a 6-minute mark, so shouldn't see any issues there. As you can see, the strap holds the battery in nicely. Nice solid plugs on both the board itself and the battery. 5.8 antenna is movable here, depending on the area and the plan of your overall flight. Would obviously depend on where you want this. The flight I took outside, I kept it around this area, and overall it did pretty well. It held the signal while flying close nearby, and I was flying in a pretty populated area with a lot of interference, so not bad at all. On the back of the drone, we got a couple lights back here, which turn red. In front of the drone, we also have a headlight, which is controlled by the headlight button here on the transmitter. Like I say, overall, this thing has a great, solid feel to it. Very well put together. As far as the transmitter, left stick is not spring-loaded, so when you start the drone, you need to be careful to have this in the down position so it's not rising. The power button, in order to power up, you press and hold for 2 or 3 seconds, and it powers up. Got a little flip up here. This holds the screen if you were going to use a monitor to fly with and be able to visually see what the camera's seeing via FPV view. And we got some indicator lights here. This light indicates your quad is properly paired, and of course the power light. Up here, we've got a button for the camera, as well as a button for the video to start and stop the videos, and we got some trim buttons on the top as well. Now this is the deluxe version. There's 2 versions of this quad available. The version that comes simply with the transmitter and the quad itself, which is all you really need to get going, especially if you have your own FPV goggles. Although FPV goggles are not needed, you could fly this strictly line of sight and have a whole lot of fun with that. But like I say, this version that I've got in front of me here is the deluxe version, so it includes the screen, the monitor, which mounts nicely in this little holder here. The antenna is flexible, so you can bend it when you're going to put it away, or you can just simply unscrew it and take it off and store it that way. But overall, I like the feel. It's a little bit top heavy with the screen attached, but that's to be expected with any sort of screen. They usually have a tendency to weigh more than the transmitter themselves. Another great option with the deluxe version is it comes with these FPV goggles. So you could take this screen, snap it in here, strap this on your head, and now you got a pair of FPV goggles to fly strictly FPV and have a feel like you're sitting inside the drone itself in front of the steering wheel and you're flying it. If you haven't flown FPV, it is quite different than flying line of sight. It adds a whole new level of excitement and fun. So I highly recommend it. Alright, so next I'm going to take this bad boy out and see what it can do outside. Alright, we got the Hubsan X4 Storm racing drone. I'm going to do my first outdoor flight here. Alright, I'm going to change the frequency 5.8 here to see if we can get a visual on the monitor. There we go. Looks like we're bouncing in and out a little bit. Now I am flying in my yard here for this first flight, so there is quite a bit of 5.8 interference. I've got all kinds of cameras running on that same frequency around my house here, so alright. So the arm, we're going to go down and out. Alright, let's lift off. Got a nice smooth hover on it. It's a little windy out here. It's doing a good job of fighting the wind as well. I'm going to try to stick close for video purposes here. As you can see, we got quite a bit of snow here in the U.S. Midwest. So, I'm not going to let that scare me off. Alright, now I'm going to try a little punch test just to see what kind of response we get. Not going to go too high, I got a tree above me here, so let's see what happens. Alright, let's do another one. Not bad. Pretty impressive. Very responsive. I gotta say that the overall responsiveness and the feel of this drone is very similar to the 107 series that I learned with. So it's nice to have that familiar feeling, you know, when you're flying a drone that's new to you. Definitely quicker than the 107 series, though. Quite excited to throw some goggles on and try this baby FPV. Alright, so that's our low battery warning. Nice feature that this drone has. The quad not only starts to beep, but the controller itself beeps when the battery's low. So that's our time to come in and do a landing. Preferably not in the snow. Now, one thing to note here, the motors do automatically disarm once you land, which is nice. Alright, just got back in from my first outdoor flight, and I gotta say I'm highly impressed with the H122D here by Hubsan. The look and feel of it, like I said earlier, was phenomenal. It's a joy to fly. Very reminiscent of my H107, as I had previously stated, but a whole lot more responsive, a lot faster. It's got a decent punch out on it. It's got great visibility with the rear LED lights here. Overall, I'm highly impressed with it. One of the better entry-level racing drones that I've reviewed. So yeah, everybody should go out and definitely try to get your hands on one of these and see if you enjoy it. And if you do, I recommend picking it up.